Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1462. 1462. Mike Matthews. That's when he sailed the ocean blue, wasn't it? No, we're still not at that day, time, year. My name is Mike Matthews, broadcasting from Café Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. The last show we had an interview with Kai Alfred Hillig, so
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Go back to that last show, the Secret Sunday show. You possibly may have missed it, because it was a great interview.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I don't know if it was a great interview, but it had some great music on it. Oh, great. Someone left the TV on some horrible infomercial network. Let me turn it off real quick, because it makes me mad. That guy was a jerk who left that TV on that channel. Idiot. Hey, I think... Actually, I shouldn't say that, because that might offend that person, because...
Mike's Daily Podcast.
They listen to the show sometimes, so hey, I understand you wanted to watch your sports game. That's cool.
Mike's
People have to...
Daily
What the...
Podcast.
I went into an eddy here where no one cares. It's a no one cares eddy. No one cares, Eddie. Okay. I was watching a wonderful show called the TED Talks Radio Hour on NPR. I have an issue with weekend NPR programming. A lot of it is fluff. No content, no substance. This show has substance. Or some dunce just walked in to the Café Anyway. Hello, Michael Marsh, it's Madame Rootabega. Don't call me a dunce. I was just kidding. It was a joke humor thing. Okay, I can't tell when you're telling a joke because I don't hear a rim shot. Oh, that's better. Look who else walked in.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And it's Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Mike, I hear Bison was on the last show day.
Yeah, Mike drew a cartoon on me. Do you know that? Aww.
Busted eardrums.
I know. That was a great show, last show, that no one listened to. Well, today we have a wonderful, interesting news segment that we're going to call... Ain't Life Grand is what we'll call it. Yes, I think that's a nice name.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Life is grand, especially when you get to Pacific Grove. I went there recently. Actually, I went there, what was it? It was the day they put up all their Halloween stuff. And it was in September, which was odd. Oh yeah, it was right after I got back from my trip. So like the 22nd of September, 23rd, somewhere around there. And I had a nice walk with my dog, Basil the Boxer. And we were walking along, and I look up and I go, hey, yeah, Pacific Grove is known for all of their butterflies that they get. That's one of the cool things about California, and Northern California specifically, is we get a lot of butterflies. They like to go up and hang up inside these eucalyptus trees, and they love it up in there, and they're just hundreds upon hundreds of them all on top of each other having sex. I don't know what they're doing, actually. But wow, chicka, wow, wow. I don't know. They're doing butterflies. Birds gotta fly, butters gotta fly. I gotta love, and I know I can't help loving that man of mine. Wait a minute. I'm typically don't love men in that way. I have people whom my relationships with them I cherish, and I love them, but it's platonic, not the agape, or is it the agape with a little bit of the French latte? Ooh la la, sasson. And I think we've covered just about everything, except since I did say something in French, I would like to say...
Why do you think I have this outrageous accent, you silly king?
Okay.
Whoa.
What is this?
It's Mike's Daily Podcast here at Café Anyway. Anyway.
Anyway.
There we go. I was going to say, I was listening to the TED Talk Radio Hour, and the show is with Guy Raz. Guy Raz is on he does a bunch of NPR type shows. And on this Guy Raz show, he has 3 speakers from a TED Talk, different TED Talks. And one of them I listened to, the first one I listened to was a couple weeks ago, actually when I was taking my trip down to Pacific Grove to see all the butterflies, which I'm not a huge fan of Pacific Grove anymore. I used to be, and now I'm like, I think I'm done. I am done. I'm not going to couch it. I'm going to say I'm done with Pacific Grove. It's nice to visit, because you go to that golf course and there's always deer out there. And then there's the beautiful ocean right there. You're on the point, the furthest west point, and you can go and see the waves crash. That's nice. But other than that, I'm done. So, and the butterflies. That's cool. But this TED Talk Radio Hour, the one I listened to weeks ago that was excellent, talked all about the guy that started Airbnb. And his concept was, hey, here's what we need. What we were trying to do was alter what people thought in general. For example, all of you out in the audience right now, take your smartphone out, unlock it, and give it to the person next to you. And everybody laughed, like we're going to do that. He goes, that's what we were trying to do. We're getting people to unlock their homes to strangers. Now, let's try it this way. What if you, after you've given the phone to that stranger then rates how well your phone is or how well you gave the phone to you? It's a bizarre concept, but that's what they wanted to do. With, hey, now you rate this house, the experience of staying with these people. It opens up a conversation. You meet new people. And this wonderful thing has begun, and Airbnb becomes this huge, huge sensation. So this guy on this latest TED Talk, if you go to the podcast section of whatever smartphone you have and look up TED Talks, it's huge because NPR, they buy so much space on all these podcast hosting apps, and they're always number one. But NPR has this TED Talk Radio Hour. In it, look up the new one, and they talk about this manipulation is the topic. And the first guy to talk on this TED Talk Radio Hour is ridiculously nothing and vapid is what he is. He's vapid. He says nothing because he's talking all about, he apparently used to work for Google. He helped design the inbox for your Gmail, apparently. And he goes on and on in his TED Talk about, Facebook. Millions of people are on Facebook. More people are on Facebook than there are Christians. More people are on Twitter than there are Muslims. Blah, 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 blah. And you won't get off Facebook because you care and you're manipulated by Facebook. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we know that. He didn't give any steps to fix the problem. Nothing. What I'm about to say is what this show should have said. This TED Talk show. Here it is. Get off of Facebook. I check Facebook maybe once or twice. I post all my podcast things, where you can listen to my podcast, like on Spreaker, Podomatic, Mixcloud, YouTube. I put that all on Facebook, but I get off pretty much immediately. Although I used Facebook yesterday in my show. I was talking about how somebody was saying they're done with Uber, and I found that very poignant. That's where Facebook is good. That's where, when we open up our eyes, Facebook can open up your eyes. Of course, not to Hillary Clinton's sex ring in the bottom of a pizza place.
You've got to be kidding me.
I mean, if you even began to believe that, you're a complete idiot.
I'm now back to being an activist citizen and part of the resistance.
But, that whole election, she had to keep saying...
But I just want to set the record straight.
So my point being, there was nothing there in that TED Talk that I was listening to, and I'm about to tweet. Here I'm using all these social media, even though I'm talking bad about social media, but I'm about to tweet about how much I hate that TED Talk show. Except at the end of this particular one about manipulation, a woman was discussing, a psychologist was talking about how we remember things wrong. And part of the problem is there are idiots in this world that are so cocksure, they're so confident about their opinions about how they remember things. It's like that idiot that keeps trying to tell you that no, Stairway to Heaven wasn't done by Led Zeppelin. It was done by Bad Company originally. Or some stupid misfact. Ooh, misfact. I like that. I coined a phrase. It's misinformation and fact. Fake news. Misfake. At any rate, people that are so sure, oh yeah, no, I know for a fact that's how it is. And you know for a fact that's not how it is. But because they can shout louder than you, they somehow make their opinion, their remembrance correct, even though it's blatantly wrong. And then you start to actually walk back, re-engineer everything, and make it so that, oh, maybe that person is right. No. And that's how fake news takes off, is we go, oh, maybe. You give things the benefit of the doubt that they shouldn't. And I'm guilty of that with Trump. I should never give him the benefit of the doubt. Even though the stock market's doing great and all that, that guy is still
wrong
with practically everything he believes.
Which is a very good thing. Which is a very, very good thing.
But he's got this magic power right now.
I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
He even believes it. So, but anyway, that's neither here nor there, up there, over there. What the hell is that? That's all I wanted to get to. Please listen to the last podcast where I talked to Kai Alfred Hillig. He's got some great new songs. The guy is so deep fellow with all of his awesome songs. Okay, Mike'sDailyPodcast.com is where you can hear all the past shows, past interviews I did with Kai Alfred Hillig and other great singer-songwriters, and where you can help out the show through the Amazon link. Click on that and buy whatever it is you're going to buy. That helps us out. There's also the PayPal. Help us out that way. And now, the segment called...
Life Grand.
Yes, life is grand. Sort of. Some of these stories aren't grand, but the House won a major institutional victory over the White House on healthcare spending last week, but it wasn't really a fair fight in the end. According to the New York Times, the Trump administration capitulated in a long-running legal dispute over health insurance subsidies paid out by the ACA, Obamacare, concurring with House Republicans' claim that the Obama administration had unconstitutionally spent billions of dollars. And siding with the House, the Trump administration found a legal justification for its decision to stop paying as much as $7 billion this year to insurers in exchange for holding down out-of-pocket expenses for millions of Americans. Democrats say the decision is a blatant attempt to undermine the health care law by roiling the insurance markets and driving up costs for consumers. Roiling? Make a liquid turbid or muddy by disturbing the sediment. Oh, it's also another term for rile. Roiling. I like that. But there... Let me do that again. I like that.
Oh, my.
But there are important implications beyond the consequences for the healthcare law. The declaration, because he was declaring, by Attorney General Jeff Sessions that the spending was indeed unconstitutional because it never explicitly appropriated by Congress could also short-circuit a legal clash with significant separation of powers issues. Major questions about the relationship between Congress and the executive branch that might have been settled by an appeals court or even the Supreme Court could now be left hanging. Hey, let's jump over to our recent fires here. Crews are making progress on two of the largest California blazes. Now they're focusing on the third. They made significant progress yesterday. I could tell, even though I still find it hard to breathe here in the Bay Area, it definitely seemed a little bit clearer. Two of the biggest wildfires raging across Northern California Although I think the air quality was really bad yesterday, now that I remember it. But the winds that bedeviled firefighters on Saturday remain mostly calm, allowing them to go back on the offense after a day of new evacuations. Officials said they strengthened containment lines on the massive Tubbs and Atlas fires, which by Sunday evening were 60% and 65% contained, respectively. By Sunday evening, residents of some neighborhoods, including parts of Larkfield, Wickiup, Calistoga, and areas south of Lake Curry, were allowed to go home. Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey announced that the popular social media platform will unveil a stronger set of rules against sexual harassment and threats of violence after women led by actress Rose McGowan and others boycotted the platform on Friday. I boycotted it for a little bit too. It was tough. In a series of tweets on Friday evening, the Twitter CEO pledged to do more to ensure that women's voices are not silenced on his website. We see voices being silenced on Twitter every day. We've been working to counteract this for the past 2 years. Dorsey also retweeted part of Twitter's statement concerning the company's decision to ban McGowan's account, which sparked the boycott. McGowan was banned after her account tweeted a private phone number. And that is a violation of Twitter's terms of service. That's what happened. Twitter is proud to empower and support the voices of our platform, especially those that speak truth to power. We stand with the brave women and men who use Twitter to share their stories, and will work hard to every day. Blah, blah, blah. Actresses and others in the media responded, with model Chrissy Teigen first calling for the boycott on Thursday. And finally, Apple Apple has decided to abandon the much-loved Touch ID fingerprint sensor and will now feature, and it will not feature in any of the next generation of iPhones, the ID imprint sensor. Huh? This according to Ming-Chi Kuo, the best Apple analyst on the planet, supposedly, according to Forbes. She states, Touch ID will be completely replaced by Face ID, which is very polarizing, this facial recognition technology, for many reasons. Part of the physical action of the unlocking your phone by looking at it will not be as convenient or as subtle as using a fingerprint, including trying to align your face while walking or running, using Apple Pay at a checkout, or even quietly browsing your phone under the table during a dull meeting. That will make it very difficult. Face ID works by building a detailed 3D model of your face for identification, so if the idea of your phone collecting your fingerprints concerned you, then trading that for a digital record of the exact shape of your face is unlikely to be appealing. The biometrics work best in combination, for example, touching a fingerprint sensor while scanning your face, so Apple's decision instead to swap one for the other does little to improve security over Touch ID. And even Apple suggests Face ID should not be used by identical twins. Meanwhile, is it better or worse that a thief needs your face or your fingerprint to unlock your iPhone when stealing it? I am just so happy about what the hell's wrong with getting the password to unlock it? I don't know. Apple appears to, quote, think different. And so Apple is trying to do this with as we go outside a Café Anyway, we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley. Could you tell that article was weird, the way it was written? But ain't life grand? I think I'm done. I've run out of stuff. So I am roiling the end of this show and not using that word correctly. But next show, we're going to have the wonderful Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the engineer. Enjoy your Monday, your week. We will talk to you soon here at Café Anyway. So nice outside.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!